Do you want to start investing into real estate but don't have a ton of money or experience? Hey everyone, my name is Alex Martinez and I'm the CEO and founder of RealEstateSkills.com, and we help everyday people to wholesale, fix and flip, and buy cash flowing rental properties across the nation. The strategies I'm covering today have allowed my partners and I to amass over an 8-figure rental portfolio, providing passive income, as well as wholesale and flip hundreds of properties, providing an active income. Now in this video, I'll be covering exactly what I would do if I had to start from scratch and had no money or experience. So if you want to get started investing into real estate, then you're in the right place. I'll be taking a no BS approach on how to generate a consistent active income from real estate without using your own capital. And then I'll cover how to build a portfolio of rental properties that generate cash flow, wealth, and financial security. First, what we have to do is limit our focus to only focusing on single family houses. You know, those 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot houses that you may have grown up in or that you see all the time in suburban neighborhoods across the country. Now, this is very important for us to get any results and to actually get started, that we solely focus on houses rather than apartment buildings, office buildings, land, mobile homes, etc. As you'll see, focusing on houses will allow us to make an active income quickly, and this knowledge will compound into us making a passive income as well. Now, according to Statistica, there are over 82 million single-family houses in the US. So not only are there a lot of houses in the US, but since the transaction size is smaller than, let's say, a 100,000 square foot office building, you're going to be able to get more wins. And consistent wins are important in this business so that you can actually make money and build wealth. And a lot of people never get started in real estate because they cannot decide on what type of real estate they actually want to invest in. So by just deciding that we're going to focus on only houses, this has already got you closer to investing into real estate more than 99% of other people that talk about it for years and years and never do anything. So good job. Now that we're laser focused on houses, let me share exactly how to get started. And this is exactly what I would do if I had no money in my bank account to invest into real estate. I would start by wholesaling houses. Now, if you've never heard of it, wholesaling is a strategy where you don't actually buy the property yourself and can actually make money from real estate without putting any money into a deal. So instead of buying the property, what we do is we find a distressed house, we get it under contract to purchase it at a discount, and we don't actually buy the property. We then assign the contract to a cash buyer for a wholesale fee. Let me give you an example. My first wholesale deal took me about 8 hours of work and it profited $22,000. That's well over $2,000 an hour. And I found the property on the multiple listing service. I called the real estate agent. I sent in an offer at $328,000 and got it under contract at that price. I then assigned my contract rights to another buyer for $350,000. So the seller actually got the original price of $328,000, and then we got to keep the profit of $22,000. So why am I sharing this? Well, this is how you get started making money with no money in real estate. And I didn't have to put any money into this deal because it didn't cost any money to get a property under contract. And since I found the property on the market and with the real estate agent, it didn't cost me any money in marketing to actually find this deal. So no money was put in and $22,000 came out. Pretty cool, right? Now, wholesaling is the perfect entry point because when done the right way, you can get started making money without any money. Additionally, when you're wholesaling, you're never actually buying the property or having to fix it up to make a profit, which both of these actions would add more time to the closing process. So instead, we just get that property under contract and then you can wholesale the property the same day and receive a wholesale fee. So what this allows for is consistency because of how quick you can actually wholesale a house, and this speed leads to quickly receiving profits when done the right way. Now, historically, most of our wholesale deals close within 2 weeks' time, and we usually get paid 100% of our wholesale fee at the time of closing, which is typically within 2 weeks, or we get 50% of our wholesale fee up front when the contract is assigned and 50% when the official closing happens. For getting paid, it just depends on the buyer we're working with in this particular transaction. And the normal wholesale fee that we typically see is about $10,000 per deal, and sometimes you'll make a lot more, and sometimes you may make a little less. Now, whether you know it or not, when you're wholesaling, you are building one of the most important skills of a real estate investor, which is the ability to acquire great deals that make a profit. So if you hone this skill set now with no money and no experience and begin wholesaling multiple houses a month, what will happen is you'll start to accumulate money and experience, which at the end of the day, you need these to continually develop to be successful at real estate investing. Additionally, this skill set of being able to acquire great deals and get them under contract is the skill set that will be with you for the rest of your life and will lead to you doing profitable fix and flip deals and buying rental properties that cash flow every single month. And getting these types of deals under contract is what will fuel your active income, meaning the money you make today, and then also your passive income, the money that comes in every month while you sleep. Now remember this, The better you get at acquiring properties and getting them under contract, the more money you're going to be able to make in this business. So if I had to start from scratch and I had no money, I would aggressively learn and begin to wholesale at least 2 to 3 houses consistently per month with the goal of making $20,000 to $30,000 a month from 2 to 3 deals. Once we're able to consistently wholesale houses, now we can evolve into the next phase. So now at this point, you're consistently learning on a daily basis, you're getting deal flow and making an active income of $20,000 to $30,000 from wholesaling real estate on a monthly basis. What you want to be doing at this point is not spend all your money. Live below your means, because we want to save up a nest egg to buy income producing real estate and build wealth. Because of the goal of real estate and this video, it's not only to make you rich, but to make you wealthy. That is the goal. Now here's what's also been going on while we've been wholesaling real estate. You're actively learning your market, you're building your real estate network, you're finding ideal cash buyers for your wholesale deals, you're honing foundational skills, you're beginning to learn the world of real estate investing, and you're wholesaling houses to fix and flippers, and now you're able to see if these fix and flippers are hitting their numbers on their deals. This is very important because as you evolve to fixing and flipping through wholesaling real estate to fix and flippers, you are essentially getting paid to learn. You are beginning to see which fix and flippers are successful and which ones aren't, and you're able to learn from their mistakes. You're also now beginning to see who are the general contractors your buyers are using to renovate their houses. And as we evolve into wholesaling and fixing flipping houses, this is extremely important, because a huge reason why a lot of people fail at fixing and flipping is because they have bad general contractors who delay on projects, have poor craftsmanship, and are unreliable. From wholesaling houses to fix and flippers consistently, you can now see if the general contractors are getting projects done on time, if they have quality craftsmanship, meaning they are making these houses look beautiful, and ultimately, are they reliable? All without having any risk at this point, because your buyers are taking on all the risk. So now from being a pro at acquiring deals, you have given yourself a luxury by doing the work and being diligent. And this luxury is that you can now cherry pick the best and wholesale the rest. What I mean by this is you're now able to cherry pick the best deals with the best returns for yourself to fix and flip. And now by adding fixing and flipping to the mix, you will increase your profit per deal potential rather than solely relying on wholesaling. For example, according to Adam data, the average gross profit of a fix and flip deal is $66,000. As you can see, this is much more than a $10,000 wholesale fee, but with bigger rewards come bigger risks, which is why at this point, you've worked smarter and not harder by wholesaling first and de-risking fixing and flipping by ensuring you're wholesaling profitable deals to fix and flippers, as well as you began finding out who are the best general contractors for your fix and flip projects. Now, here are some of the best types of fix and flip deals you can start doing. Number one, the ones that you feel are going to make a profit on all day. Now, when most people start out, they romanticize the numbers and do fix and flip projects that they know they'll even lose money on. Now, whatever you do, please do not do this. This is not good business, and we're not here to run a nonprofit. Now, in fixing and flipping, we also want to focus on deals where the majority of work is cosmetic, such as new cabinets, new flooring, new fixtures, paint, etc., and not a project that needs full gut renovations of tearing down walls and developing new square footage. The smaller the renovation budget, the faster you can get the project done on time. And a smaller renovation budget de-risks the project and increases your chance of profit, because the higher the renovation budget, the more things that can go wrong, the more walls you open up, the more change orders that happen, and the more delays that can happen. Now here's an example of how I evolved from wholesaling to wholesaling and fixing and flipping. One of the first fix and flip projects I ever did was on Del Marino Avenue. I bought this property without using any of my own money for $390,000. And I renovated the property for $42,000. I then sold the property for $535,000. Now this fix and flip project took about 90 days from start to finish and profited over $60,000. And how I was able to do this without using any of my own money was by using a combination of a hard money lender and private money lenders to fund the purchase and the renovations of this deal. Hard money lenders and private money lenders are companies and people that will lend on your fix and flip projects and are the exact types of lenders you want to use if you don't want to put any of your own money into fix and flip projects. Now, why did this fix and flip deal work? Well, one reason why is because I started with wholesaling. From wholesaling, I now knew how to find great deals, because when you're wholesaling multiple houses per month, that means you're consistently finding great deals for fix and flippers. And from wholesaling, I now knew who the best general contractors were and who I could go to get the project done on time, on budget, and with great quality. And this deal also worked because this house only had a renovation budget of $42,000, with the majority of that work being cosmetic. This relatively small repair budget made the flip way more manageable rather than choosing a house that has a $200,000 renovation budget, which in this case would probably take 5 times as long to renovate. Now, with all these factors in mind and that were at play, I knew I had a high probability of profiting on this deal. And instead of wholesaling this house and making $10,000 in about 2 weeks' time, we decided to fix and flip it and make $60,000 in 90 days. And that's the power of wholesaling, starting with wholesaling and then fixing and flipping and doing both at the same time. Because now you can cherry pick the best deals to flip like the one I just showed you and then wholesale the other ones that you do not want to flip. Now, a big mistake I see those making who follow this path is that they do great at the first step of wholesaling houses. They get to wholesaling 2 to 3 houses a month. They start making $20,000 to $30,000 a month. But then guess what happens? They take on too many fix and flip projects, or they take on a fix and flip project that is way too big of a renovation budget for them. Now, at our company, Real Estate Skills, we are big proponents of crawling, walking, and then running when it comes to anything new, and especially real estate. So if you've never fixed and flipped a house, then please don't try to manage 3 house flips at one time. Because what inevitably happens is that people forget what got them here, and then they focus all their time on fixing and flipping and stop wholesaling consistently. And what happens in this situation is that they cut off all consistent cash flow to their business from the wholesaling. Because it's pretty simple. If you stop wholesaling 2 or 3 houses a month, then you're no longer going to be making $20,000 to $30,000 a month consistently. And keep in mind, you only get paid on a fix and flip project once it's actually completed. And so what you always want to be doing is always continue to wholesale houses while cherry picking the most profitable deals for yourself that are no-brainers and that will produce an ROI. The point here is to be selective, and this selectiveness will allow you to actually scale and grow your business the smart way without blowing it up because you didn't take on more than you could actually handle. Now, once we start wholesaling and flipping, here's what it can start to look like. If you're wholesaling 2 to 3 houses a month at $10,000 of profit per deal, then we're looking at $20,000 to $30,000 a month. So annually, that's 24 to 36 deals in a year, and that's $240,000 to $360,000 in income from wholesaling annually. Now, once we start fixing and flipping, let's say you begin flipping a house every 90 to 120 days at $40,000 of profit per flip. That would mean 3 to 4 flips a year and range from $120,000 to $160,000 in income from flipping. Now, when we add the two together, the wholesaling and flipping income, you're going to be making between $360,000, which is 24 wholesale deals and 3 flips, and $520,000, which is 36 deals and 4 flips annually. Now, it's not bad, especially since we started out with no money. And so at this point, when you're wholesaling and flipping houses consistently, you're continually developing invaluable skills as a real estate investor, like how to analyze deals. You're getting better at that, how to manage the renovations, and how to work with contractors. And from this approach, you're setting yourself up for long-term success in real estate investing. And so what do we do now with all the profits we're getting from wholesaling and fixing and flipping? Well, now we can evolve to the next phase, which is reinvesting your nest egg of profits into rental properties for passive income and true financial freedom. This is where the real fun begins, and this is where life-changing results can take place. And this is where you're going to start building generational wealth. And this is where 10 years from now, everyone around you is going to say, dang, you're the smartest person with money that I know. Let's dive in. Now, as Warren Buffett who said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Now, if you ask me, I think Warren's a pretty smart guy, so let's follow his advice and make money while we sleep. How are we going to do this? We're going to do this by now investing into cash flowing rental properties that produce a profit every single month. And we're going to do this by buying single family houses as rental properties and then renting them out to a renter who pays you every month. And the overarching goal here is that the property you rent out, the rent you get paid every single month, covers your mortgage payment and all of your expenses on the property. And the difference between what you get paid in rent and the expenses is your cash flow. And here's an example of Max, who I've taught these strategies to. Here's his rental property on Raymer Boulevard in Ohio. He bought it for a total purchase price of $78,000. But Max didn't have to come up with all of the $78,000 out of pocket. See, Max was smart and he used leverage. Max only had to put 20% down the property, which was $15,600, and a bank provided the additional 80% of capital in order to purchase the property. Now with this mortgage Max got from the bank, it had a 7.5% interest rate. And guess how much this property cash flows every single month for Max? $500 a month. That's $500 a month after all expenses, and annually, this property brings in $6,000 of cash flow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's passive income. And Max owns over a dozen plus more deals just like this one that generate this passive income. And by investing into real estate, this is how we make money while we sleep. Now, I use this property as an example to show you what's possible when you accumulate an active income from real estate investing and then wisely invest it back into real estate. Now, let's say you had $160,000 set aside from wholesaling and flipping actively. Well, now you could buy 10 of the properties that I just showed you in this example. That would mean if you bought 10 of these properties, 10 times $500 in cash flow a month, you would have $5,000 a month in passive income. Isn't that pretty cool? And this is how we get on our way to financial freedom. This is how we get on our way to building wealth. Now imagine what 20 properties would do. That would be $10,000 a month in cash flow. And in a year, that'd be $120,000 a year in cash flow. Now this may not be possible to do in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but it's absolutely possible in a few years' time. And this is now how we build true long-term generational wealth. And this is what we do day in, day out here at Real Estate Skills. So now what we're doing is we're starting to connect the dots of building wealth by looking backwards. Now that you started wholesaling, you gained the foundational skill of acquiring great deals and started to make an active income. And from wholesaling, you now gain the skills that you needed to find the best fix and flip deals, which then increased your profits. And from adding fixing and flipping into the mix, you learned how to renovate property, which is also an added benefit when buying rental properties because you can actually buy distressed rental properties at a discount, fix them up, and potentially even make a larger monthly cash flow from doing that and from having that experience. And now by acquiring rental properties, you're now able to acquire enough rental properties to cover all of your monthly expenses and never have to work again if you don't want to. That's freedom. And this all started because you compounded your learning, your skills through wholesaling and flipping, and then compounded your money through investing that money back into real estate to build true life-changing wealth. Now through following this methodical approach, you actually learned how to invest in real estate with no money. And this is the same exact approach that I would use right now today if I had to start from scratch in real estate with no money and no experience. And if you want to start putting what I cover in this video into action sooner rather than later, then check out the free training we put together down below in the description. In the free training, I'll go in depth on the exact strategies we're using to acquire wholesale, fix and flip, and rental properties across the country so that you can do the same exact thing. And if you want to see what it looks like to get expert mentorship, coaching, and systems on each stage of this process so you can get started wholesaling, fixing and flipping, and buying rental properties in your market without having to reinvent the wheel, then right after the free training, you'll be able to apply for a free strategy session with my team and I to see if we're a good fit to work together to make these deals happen in your market this month. This is Alex Martinez with realestateskills.com. Hope you enjoy the training and happy real estate investing.